was at the lead and
Welcome back to Cancelled. So we're here again with a good friend, Stefanos Karatopoulos, right?
Karatopoulos.
I'm learning how to speak Greek today.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. It's funny. Me and Steph have ran into each other several times throughout our battle against the government, I'd call it.
Yeah, exactly.
And we found out that we've gone to the same high school.
Yep.
We share some mutual friends, and we never actually talked about that. So I found out he was Greek. I didn't know what he was until I came here. So we probably figured that out. And
that's because it's all Greek to me.
Yeah, it's all Greek to me too, buddy. I'm a little Greek myself, right? But it's great to have you on the show, man.
Yeah,
we've always had a good time. Yeah, you've been there battling with me against the DSBN. You've always been there for a voice of reason, and you got a lot of political, and you also have a lot of, lower your connection. So if I got a question to ask about anything, I call you.
Yeah, why not?
And you seem to know the right guy to call or the right thing to do. So if I'm getting defamed online, I can just reach out to you and, we can slap a lawsuit on somebody or
bam.
And we did that once. Remember we did that with what was that news guy's
name? Grant LaFave.
Yeah, we did that with him. We had to slap a lawsuit on him and that other guy. It was the news channel guy.
I can't remember.
Who came out to the indigenous. Yeah, it came out to the indigenous. Remember the indigenous community?
Yep.
And we hit him pretty hard too.
Yeah.
So he's almost you. I consider you my lawyer. My phone, I think it has lawyer. You're like my Greek lawyer.
I wish I was a lawyer.
You're a Greek lawyer.
I would never want to be a lawyer. All right, that's it. So yeah, and I also advocate for disabled children at the Human Rights Tribunal. I've done that. I also, I'm with the Ontario Landowners Association. We fight for private property rights against government overreach. So there's a lot of stuff I'm involved in.
What's your biggest fight? Your biggest fight is big news, but we can't talk about it because of the publication ban.
Right.
But there's and I mentioned it with Monique on our previous podcast, a place called Robert Land Academy. And everyone knows what it is. We can't talk about it. But
I can talk about Robert Land Academy. I cannot talk about a specific court proceeding that happened today. We can't give details or anything.
But that's not the first court proceeding that's happened about this whole entire
No,
case.
there's been massive lawsuits against them totaling over $500 million with survivors, myself being a survivor.
And you are a
also.
survivor,
Yeah, so I also have a lawsuit on them. I'm proud to stand with my brothers. There was about 6 to 8 of us. I can't remember how many exactly, but June 21st, I believe it was, 2025, we stood outside that school. We shut it down. We shut its doors forever. And, of course, the cowards that these grown men who like to beat little children and rape them cried like a bunch of bitches. Can I say bitches on the show?
You can say whatever you want. We're talking about these scumbags, buddy.
All right. So they cried like a bunch of bitches and called the Niagara Regional Police, who promptly and swiftly pretended they didn't know who the one pedophile was, because there were several there. One pedophile that they charged, which was Jonathan Jeffrey Alstead, and they pretended they didn't. But me being in the legal community a lot and a lot of legal battles, even against the NRP, I sued them twice too to boot. They immediately pretended like they didn't know who we were talking about until I stepped in, because it pissed me off that they were trying to protect a pedophile. And so I promptly said, bullshit, don't give me that shit, guys. Something along those lines. And I'm like, you're Grimsby 8th Division. You're the ones who arrested him, because 8th Division Grimsby is West Lincoln's area. And that's where he was arrested, according to one of the news articles. If you'd like to bring up a news article of his arrest. And,
sure can. So give me some, what do you want me to search?
Just type in Jonathan Jeffrey Alstead arrested, and you'll see it'll pop up, or West Lincoln, whichever one you want.
So I showed up today at the courthouse.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
And thank you for doing that and supporting us.
And I always will. So I support people in the community that have been destroyed by adults, and I totally stand against any adult that takes their authority, which are teachers, and destroy innocence of childhood.
Yeah, and you know, this is part of what drives me of the abuse that I went through all these years, and I kept it quiet. I never told anyone I ever went to Robert Land Academy. You know, I kept it really quiet. But this is what drives me to protect children. This is why I advocate for children. And
you're heroes, so you know, you people like you and Bam Bam, I bring people on the show, and you guys are heroes to me.
No.
And you're doing great work, and this is why we want to bring people on the show to cause awareness, so everyone can hear your story. And although there's publication bans, all the words will be heard one day. And what I heard in the court today that I can't say anything about, but
absolutely disgusting, though, isn't it?
Isn't it? It's one of the and it's terrible. It's what I heard today.
Monster.
Yeah.
Somebody repeated that word monster earlier today. So that's a.
And now they put these protective orders against these cases, and they claim it's to protect the victim. But the victims want outcry. They want exposure to these people. That's the truth. So they're in the reality of this all is that the protective order is just to protect the people involved with Robert Land Academy, which is relying back to.
Well, and not only that, but I would say to protect the actual pedophile, the actual abuser. And, you know, in some ways I agree with publication bans, but I think they need to be altered or tweaked. So, yes, we can keep the victim confidential, but as far as the accused goes, that should be wide open.
I was just going to say that. Why is there no publication ban, like, you know, just for the victims, right?
Yeah,
that would make more sense. I mean, obviously they want to protect the people from being attacked. I would assume that, like, the people that are committing these crimes. Right?
Yeah, and I believe I think I watched the show when you had Bam Bam on here, and I think Bam Bam said that he actually had to go make a court application to have the publication ban lifted.
Yeah,
I was talking to Monique this morning at the courthouse, and she was telling me there's a story about a woman that went through rape, and she told her story, and her rapist got out of jail and literally sued her.
Wow.
And she was under fire for telling her story about her being raped as a child by this monster.
Yeah.
Like, how can lawyers and judges sit there in their position of power and say, no, that's okay?
Yeah, so she would get charged with a contempt order.
This morning when the judge walked in and it goes, stand for honorable judge, I start to sit up, and one of my friends goes, sit the fuck down, Josh. You don't stand for people that are letting pedophiles back in public. Sorry. I'm like, but I get you. I'm like, thank you for making me sit down when that judge is coming out, because that judge is not going to give that person the time they deserve. They're not going to vindicate those children. They're going to protect the evilness.
And so for people that are just, like, you know, joining the live and that will see this later, what can you just tell us a little bit? What is Robert Land Academy, and give us a little bit of a synopsis of? I know it started in '78, and then what was its mission? Maybe talk a little bit about the school.
Well, you know what? You could pull up another page there. Type in Google search Prince Andrew's other pedophile friend. So
Prince Andrew's
other pedophile friend. So you know, I'm going to tie all this shit in for you guys. So. Robert Land Academy was a private school. It's a military-styled school, and it was founded by Scott Bowman, and he's a complete fucking and utter fraud, a complete fake. He founded that school, but there was also a silent co-founder. Now, the silent co-founder was William Gleed. You know, of course, he was a priest or a pastor or some crap. But a convicted pedophile, imagine that. And that is Prince Andrew's other pedophile friend. And there was another school, I can't remember the name of it. They had put a monument for him, and Prince Andrew visited that school. So, you know, pedophiles always get put up on pedestals.
Yeah.
Notice the names are similar.
So what was their mission for starting the school in the first place? Like, what was it?
So when I went in, it wasn't for troubled kids or anything. That came later on. I was like... 10 or 11, I believe. I was a happy-go-lucky kid. I wasn't a shit student. I wasn't a super excelling student. I was a kid, period. And my parents said, hey, there's a military school. You want to go there? Because they were under the spell of the school saying, we're going to turn your kid into a man. And my parents like, that sounds cool. So they took me on a tour. I went to that school. I went to the tour. who gets to interact with the West Lincoln regiment, the Lincoln and Welland regiment, and get involved in war games with them and everything else when they're battling the U.S., doing their war games of the fall. I thought it was great. I was running security for the Huey gunships. We had 13 of them come and land at the school, repelled out of the helicopters at about 200 feet. It was wicked. I had this thing up above me. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is awesome." As a kid, you're never gonna. I had told my parents I want to go there. I wasn't sent there because I was bad or disabled or had any disabilities or anything like that. But I'll tell you, when you leave that school, you will have all of those things. So, so that's basically what it is. It's an all boys school. Had connection to Ford Motor Company. It had connection to the Canadian military, to the Niagara Regional Police, York Regional Police. I believe it was Halton Regional Police. All the police forces are there, and it was tied to the PC Party of Ontario, and this has been there since 1978. They had a psychiatrist at that school, and his name was Murray McGovern. That's an interesting character to look up. So Murray McGovern ended up having a psychiatric exam done on him in one of the court cases, and it came back that Murray McGovern was a certified psychopath. So you can't make this shit up, all right? You just can't make this shit up.
So was the school started under the guise of being a great place to send your boys to make them into men? So is that how the public saw it as well?
I'm not sure what the public, I'm only a little kid. What do I know?
Okay.
But, my father was a very big pillar in the community. He was he had our own hockey team before I went there. So he sponsored hockey teams. We had hockey teams in West Lincoln. It was Carrots Poultry after our business. And sponsored another hockey team in Font Hill, which was in Pelham there. It was Font Hill Family Games. That's when we had a plaza and an arcade and everything. So my dad was always he was just an awesome dad. He loved kids, passed away in 2021. But yeah, he was an awesome person. Always bought us everything, and he even arranged an exhibition game with Robert Land Academy's hockey team, and my dad helped them get into that stuff. And of course, I played for my dad's team, not the school team who kicked their ass. But I'll tell you though, that's the school was later on built as for kids with disabilities.
When did that transition happen?
I believe it was in 84 or something like that.
And you went what year?
I went 81 to 83.
Okay. And then, so how come you were only there 2 years?
Because we found out on average that every kid that goes there, the average is they only go there 1 year and that's it.
Okay.
Got out of there. So when I went, first year was $8,000 a kid. Second year was $13,000 a kid. When we closed it down last in 2025 in June there, it was $64,000 a kid.
Oh my gosh.
And you know what? Here's another fun fact. Shania Twain's brothers went there.
Yeah.
And they got government grant through the native, whatever it is. I don't want to butcher the name or whatever, because, they got a grant there. She got it and sent them there. And they ran away multiple times. And then they got out of there. And, of course, the usual, they got in trouble with law enforcement. I mean, this is common, and this follows almost everybody from that school.
Now, how soon after you started there did you realize that this was not a normal school, that there's, things going on? Like what?
Well, I always knew it wasn't a normal school because of all the stuff when I'd done the tour and all the things that were sounding so cool. You get to rappel, you get all the stuff, right? But I found out it wasn't what it was pitched to me.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm asking.
Getting at. Yeah, and that was the second my parents dropped me off.
Really?
Oh yeah. They got a big fake facade on when your parents are there and everything, and talking to them before you're. Once you're there, and the car drove away, that's it. I'll give you a great example. Actually, there was a guy, Frank Bargello. He was from Venezuela. It was our first international student. Big thing, and. Poor Frank, he was overweight. He had the muffin top hanging down and everything. He's a really obese kid. So they were all nice. The parents are driving away. They were all waving bye. Standing there with the suitcases. Second that car turned, went down the road out of sight. One grabbed him from the shoulder. The other one grabbed him from the other shoulder. Just started running him. All he was eating was a slice of bread and a glass of milk. That was his breakfast, dinner, lunch. Every day. He didn't get any academic schooling done. He was out getting PT'd to death, running 2 miles, digging holes 6 feet down, digging your own grave, laying it. They kick dirt on you, telling you, this is your fucking grave. This is where you're going to die. All this shit. So the psychological.
How old was he at the time?
Oh, he was, I think, maybe 13, 14, somewhere around there.
Now, one of these kids, when this stuff happens to them, did they even try to write letters?
Yeah.
That? Mm-hmm. Now, were they proofreading your letters? Is that what happens here? You send a letter and it has to
they would take our letters, they would read them, and if they'd seen any of that, the letter wouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And they would let you make phone calls. Like with my case, I think I only called my parents and talked to them once or twice the whole time I was there.
For the 2 years?
Yeah.
And so no visits, no nothing like that?
No, there was the odd time we would get a holiday. They might let us go for a week, and then that's it, you're back, or a weekend.
And then did you ever try to tell your parents that there's some crazy stuff
happening?
We
always did. But they took care of that. You see, they conditioned the parents and they brainwashed the parents, and they said,
we are being hard on them.
When you are going to get your child back, you're going to hear all these horror stories, and they're going to be complaining and telling you all this. It's all fake. It's made up. They're only saying this because this is the first time many of these kids have been away from home. So they're homesick.
And they're probably also telling them that, yes, we are being hard on them, but this is for their own good. And they're probably diminishing their actual actions that they're doing.
Well,
right?
they don't tell you that they're going to beat the shit out of you.
No,
give
of course.
You another. So, what parent would send their kid to school when you got right now an active duty Niagara Regional Police officer named David Sinclair, who would PT the students until they puke. And then when they would puke, he'd make them strip naked, do push-ups over their puke. And every time they'd go down, they'd have to take a bite of their puke and eat their vomit as they're doing their push-ups. So these are the kind of fucking psychopaths we had at the fucking school.
That's crazy. So how many lawsuits have happened and how many people have come forward? It's got to be hundreds, I would assume, right?
Oh, yeah, there's hundreds. Yeah, absolutely. That's why they shut down. We shut them down.
Now, this is going on for, like I said, one of the last charges. I was at the courthourse today. He was a teacher there.
He was a teacher. He was a teacher. Not only was he a teacher, but you had the Lumsden, MPP Lumsden, Minister of Tourism and whatever, and Minister of Education, Paul Calandra, giving him an award. They're out there. So they've been tied to the PC party and the Conservative
And it's
Party
almost like they knew these, like, if this to happen, and this has been happening for as long as the school's been there.
Since 1978.
And it's happened right to the bitter end.
Yeah.
So it's almost like if you're a predator, like the guy that we were in the courthouse today, you go there. If you heard on the streets of this place here, they're allowing you to do whatever to kids. This is why you'd apply there to be a teacher.
Well, this is what's fucking crazier, right? So what happened at this school? I can talk all day with all the shit that went down. Myself, one of the things that happened to me is I had one of the teachers there. He was a sergeant major. He'd always have this walking stick, and it was like a caliper. You know how your compass sets would open up.
Yeah.
Well, that motherfucker, if you're at a step or, actually in Toronto, you were there. I asked everybody to stick their arms up, and nobody did it. But there's a reason why.
Yeah.
And I'll challenge everybody out there watching this. Stick your arms straight out to the side. Don't bend your elbows. Don't let them drop. Keep them perfectly to the side. I could do it for 5 minutes. And you tell me how good you fare. And I don't give a shit if you're a guy who's in tip-top shape, a muscle boy. I don't care. Hold your arms out. You can't let them drop. The second you drop a tad or bend your elbows a little, that fucker would come by and he'd beat you with that fucking stick. He'd freaking wrap you on there. And he would do it in a way where, since it opens up, he would hit you on an angle like on the side. And somehow it would pinch you too on top of it. So you get fucking whacked and it'd pinch your skin too. And, when we were out there doing these sadistic punishments. I call it a concentration camp, a torture place. That's what it was. We would be sometimes out in our shorts and t-shirts in the middle of winter, freezing, and they would make us stand perfectly still. We couldn't move. We even had frostbite forming on your cheeks. You could see the ice actually literally freezing on your cheeks and stuff. And there was people who would pass out from standing so long. And
these are children. You're 11 and 12 years old, right? So when's the entry age like for it?
I think the youngest was 9 or 10.
I got children. I couldn't imagine putting my not knowing, but it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, you're not 19, 20, like in the military. This is like Navy SEAL stuff.
Yeah, they're babies. Yeah.
Well, look at this. A lot of the guys went to the Lincoln and Welland Regiment. They actually literally used that as a recruiting ground also, right? Because they were sending people to Petawawa. We would go to base board and all this stuff. And, we would get woken up in the middle of the night, 3 a.m, 4 a.m, forced to go out, do patrols, all this shit, right? But they would, the guys who did go on and go into the Canadian Forces, they were like, the military wasn't even this hard. I know guys who joined motorcycle clubs and they went to prisons for good stretches that were at that school. And they were like, prison was nothing because of that school. That school is worse than prison.
But it wasn't associated with the military, correct?
It was.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought
Absolutely.
I read it wasn't, but
well, that's when the military started first coming out with court cases and rumors of abuse that were going out there. The military tried to pull the RCAC out of there and tried to distance themselves from the academy. Now, this fraud, Captain Bowman, that's what I called him, because when I met him, that's what I knew him as, Captain Bowman. He gave himself the fake rank of captain. And I guess up until when the school closed, he even gave himself the rank of major.
Yeah.
So tell me, why isn't there charges of stolen valor? Like, wouldn't the military, Canadian Forces, if you're out there, don't you think you should be laying some freaking charges of stolen valor? I don't know where the military guys are. You should be, this gave you guys a bad name.
I don't have much faith in the Canadian military after being in Ottawa during the convoy. And now that they put tampons in the bathroom and
tomato juice. We got to mimic our periods, but
yeah,
not that I have any problem with anybody doing that, but it shouldn't be forced on people. That's my problem.
Yeah. So maybe, is there any other things that happen at the school where obviously the touchy subject is the sexual abuse that happened there, and obviously clearly there's a lot of it. Is there anything you can sort of say without getting too graphic, and like, was that apparent right away? Is that something that's like, I don't even know what I'm trying to ask here. It's such a touchy subject.
So I had a really, really good friend who was getting sexually abused, and I had no idea, none. And I think if you look up in Google or on YouTube, you type in CTV, I think it was done a part of allegations of sexual abuse at Robert Land Academy, and you'll have my friend who was getting abused. I think that was him. Might have been another guy, but my friend was really abused bad. And they weren't only abused by teachers and staff, they were also abused by other students. Because later on in the years, you had the Conservative Party of Canada who got involved with the school also. So, and this was Stephen Harper, by the way, everyone's hero, Stephen Harper.
I always call him Lego hair.
Well, he's the one who removed trespass from the criminal code. He's also removed laying private charges. Remember, people tried to charge Trudeau and the, what was it, the SNC or Lavalin or whatever, and they were just throwing them out.
Yeah.
That's due to Stephen Harper.
They're all on the
they
same
couldn't
team.
throw them out. They couldn't. So they're doing things. They'll campaign on accountability, but really when they're elected and they're in office, they're doing things so they can't be held accountable.
And they do. They work together. People don't see that. You might think it's left and right, but they're all the same bird.
So this is just about a lawsuit here.
Yeah. So
clearly there's lots of them.
Okay, that's the Walrus. They've done a good 3-parter on it, but there's a YouTube. If you do that, you'll see it's CTV that done it, and it's a good video. And he speaks about all the oral he had to perform on another student and stuff, and he was being awoke. And yeah, I can't really go into details. I don't want to name names
No,
either.
there's-
So
Now, there's a number of children that grew up and they took their own lives after being at the school, right? That's quite.
Well, hell, it wasn't after the school, it was
Yeah.
during too. It was like I had a good friend, and they said it was a hunting accident. Like he went hunting and he slipped and his knife cut his artery and he bled to death. Bullshit. Who the hell takes a Bowie knife and goes hunting? Nobody, dude. Nobody. What are you gonna run around out in the forest? Ask any hunter. Are you running around out in the forest with a Bowie knife, jumping on deer or whatever, moose, and freaking stabbing it to death? No, you'd have a firearm. This is no firearm. So there was lots of cover up, even by the NRP. There was cover ups, especially on Chris Brown and Matt Toppy. And they took Brown's brother there and sent him to the school. They had a memorial bench dedicated to his brother, and they started on him. They weaponized that memorial bench, and they were telling his brother, you can either succeed here or you can take the same path your brother took out, So how fucking torturous. And not only that, I'm going to blame parents. What kind of a parent would just lose a child and immediately send their other child to that same school, knowing the hell that just happened?
No, that's good. That goes maybe partially to what you said about how they brainwash the parents too. They actually believe they believe that this teachers and these military schools actually benefiting them. It was just an accident. That's one of us.
So there's a statistic we've come across. We got several statistics, and one of the statistics we came across was that almost every single buddy that has gone to that school no longer has any sort of relationship with their parents. They've gotten their families done. It's over. Another good friend of mine who committed suicide, he was buried at the school. When I spoke out of Queen's Park, I was, you'll hear my voice was crackling and stuff. And that's because I was trying to hold back. And because I seen his sister and I talked to her for a second. She was in my peripheral vision and I was just trying to calm down. And he was buried at the school because they couldn't give him a proper burial because it was suicide. So the religion wouldn't allow it, right? So they put him there. But thank God she ended up getting him the hell out of there and got him in a proper burial eventually, thank God. And she was crying to me, she was hugging me, and she's like, we didn't know. This is what they were telling the parents, right? They just didn't know what was going on and what they were going through. And that's a sad thing. My own friend, I'm 11, 12 years old. One of my good friends there hung himself. The first time he hung himself with a tie. I cut him down that time. The second time he hung himself with a bootlace off of, we had just gotten portables instead of the barracks, those rundown houses we were put in. And he hung himself from the door handle of the portable because there was no steps going down. So it was, we're little kids and there was like a good 4 or 5 foot there, and hung himself from that. Cut him down there. And then right after I cut him down there, freaking, he went and drank, I believe it was a bottle of all-purpose cleaner and a bottle of Windex. And then they finally called an ambulance, and because they wouldn't call ambulances any other time. Loaded him into the ambulance, sent him to the hospital, getting his stomach pumped. I don't know to this day if he's alive or dead. He never ever came back from there. So what do I know? Like, I don't know anything. He had another psychopath, Giovannini. He's the head of fire services in either it's Thorold or for the region. He was convicted. He broke a student's legs, both legs broken. And the judge said, even though they convicted him, he said, it wasn't, he didn't mean to do it. So he got a discharge after whatever the conditions they put on him. Now, that's bullshit. Like, all these motherfuckers, all these psychopaths are in a position of power or some form of government, So while they're enjoying a nice, lucrative life, they've destroyed 3,000 lives of little kids. You know, they're always big and tough when it's a little 10, 11-year-old, but they cry like a bitch when it comes to face the music or they're facing them face to face. So it's a big different story when they're the ones getting picked on, and then they cry victim.
Oh, they do. I witnessed it personally. I can't say when or where, but I did. It's almost like it's like something out of a horror movie. It's supposed to be a school where, you know, your kid goes to learn, and it's happening right here and I've said this before on the podcast. This is my hometown. The school's only 20 minutes from here.
Yeah.
Wellingport. So it's literally not even 15 minutes from here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right?
You everyone that I know has heard of something that's gone on there. Somebody that's went there, heard stories, something like it's.
I went to school with Scott, the children of the captain. They went to
Scott
Beamsville.
Bowman's kids. Yeah. And they ended up being at that school too.
They say they came to our school for a bit, but they went there for a year or so and came back. But I imagine they didn't feel any of that.
Yeah, but then they got positions there too, right? So they went on. And now, if they've done anything or not, I have no idea. I know there's several abusers that have criminal complaints on them now. Many of them are with the Niagara Regional Police. Some are higher up, detectives. You know, so there's a big problem there, and no less than 8 that we're aware of, staff or teachers that were at Robert Land Academy, are now at International School in Fort Erie. Not saying anything else is going on there, but you know that opens the door to abuse, right? They could be. We don't know. We have no proof on it, but. And I do know that the Family Children's Services said there was a mass investigation going on at Robert Land Academy. Now, if they, I don't know what's happened with them. Obviously, they can't tell us. And I don't know if the school shut down. The investigation shut down at that time, too. So I have no idea about that. Maybe I'll fire them off an email or give them a call and see what's up with that. But, yeah, and we're having problems because Niagara Regional Police are in a conflict of interest. You know, they got officers that are currently active duty. You know, they passed it off to York Regional Police, and I told them they can't because York Regional Police had a active staff sergeant, Beth Millard, who sat on the board of governors of the school. But yet they go and pass the investigation off to York, and we're like, you're in a conflict. You know, you can't get in more of a direct conflict. So, you know, where it's at, I've never been contacted. I made a video statement. I did make a criminal complaint, and I know several others did. I don't know how many have done them and who their accusers are. I have no idea who they've accused. But not one call. You know, this is June 21st. That day we shut it down. I was the first one to make criminal complaint. I done it right then and there. I've not been contacted by anyone.
It's been shut down for how many years now, Robert Land?
25 since 25 of June. Yeah.
Of 2025.
Yeah.
So it's just recently shut down.
Yeah. Were there any lawsuits prior to being shut down?
Oh yeah, absolutely. All of us. So there's tons of us, and they were all separate lawsuits. They're not class actions. Never do class actions. They suck. And I believe there was one class action that had about 100 students. I didn't know about that, but a detective told me that. So if there is or isn't, I don't know. But there's probably over 200.
And this isn't the first school. Like you brought up the connection between the royal family, and right, that's the connection to the
the pedophile priest.
The pedophile priest.
Yeah.
Now going back in the 50s, there was a school in Kamloops, and I mean. It's hard to find information on this, and Mark, you can look it up. But the Queen of England, and it would have been King Charles at the time, right? Her husband was that, or was there? Yeah, it was Philip. Philip. Yeah, I can't keep these pedophiles straight. But they all went missing. There was like 20 kids that went missing, and there was one survivor, and then he ended up shooting himself in the head twice. And then I was following this. It was about 2012. He was coming forward. He was.
How do you commit suicide and shoot yourself in the head twice? That's what I want to know.
And he was working on a book for it, and it got shut down. But there's this huge story about how these 20 kids, and this is just one school, but it's like the royal family is connected to this country. I mean, we have their face on our coins.
Yeah.
I mean, we see allegations with the Epstein Island, and we just let these people rule our lives, and we don't understand like what type of organization or what type of cult this is. Like, it leads back to Freemasonry. It leads back to the Catholic Church. Like, they've got their fingers in everything, this monarch, and people bow down to them, and they think they're such a special group.
And it's not just a monarchy. You know, I'm not gonna just dive on the monarchy. There's a lot of different
but they're the high ups running our country, and it's like they're doing this as well. And
yeah, absolutely.
So there's a huge umbrella of people falling into this category, and they're allowing it. And if your top dog is part of this criminal act, then everything, your police officers, your school teachers, everything underneath them, they're letting it happen. It's this time in the world we live in, you can't be so blind that you're like, the people in charge are into this. They like this kind of stuff. And I mean, we're slowly seeing it now, but like even with the Epstein files, they're not letting, you can't release things. They don't show us. Like, we are being blinded to this stuff. They're hiding all this information. It's always a publication ban, or, Trump's not going to release the files right away. But like, we live in a world where we literally hide this from our public eye, and then
when they release it, it's all redacted. It's not even, why even bother releasing it?
Yeah,
it's all, you can't. There's nothing in it that's of substance to charge anybody or anything.
But like being at that thing today, I'm at the courtroom today with the teacher who did the worst things, and has been charged, but you can't talk about it.
Right.
There is some things you can talk about regarding that person, right? Like, his name's out in public, correct?
Yeah, so name's out in public. There's articles about him.
You can talk about his charges.
What's his name again?
Jonathan Jeffrey Alstead.
And he's a local guy, right?
Oh, very local.
Yeah.
The connection between me and him would blow your mind if I could say it.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, if you knew him from your personal life, it's your own personal life.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
there's a relation to
get into like crazy detail.
There's a relationship between there and the Masonic Lodge.
Oh, right.
Shocker. So the curse, what I was telling everyone, everyone's like, oh, there's no curse in the lodge. If you put your family and you put yourself into that lodge, I'll tell you that King of the Craft, King Charles, or the whole family's into it, the royal family, they have a different type of control system that they use on everybody, and it's beyond money, it's beyond religion, and they have a forceful entity that they rule this realm with, and the royal family is disgusting swine. I just want that to say that on credit.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is that this article here? Probably not.
What's it? West Lincoln man rearrested. Yeah, so he got arrested after he was arrested the first time. He got arrested again.
So has he been charged with other things? Is this
yeah.
Is the second lawsuit then?
No, not a lawsuit, criminal charges. But he was rearrested, and then there was one where the OPP done a sting, and that's out there also.
So in this one, what do you know much about this article here? I didn't have a chance to read it, but it just says child luring.
Yeah, he was found more things on his devices, more children that were
telecommunications with persons and believed to be under 18 for the purpose of facilitating and making child pornography.
Yeah, and then
this guy was a teacher at Robert Land.
He was the phys ed teacher. Yeah.
And how long was he there for? Do you know?
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
He was there recently. He was there quite recently, right?
Right, and there's another abuser there. A lot of people sit there and say,
but there's 30 years after you've already been through this. You were in 1983 or
83, 81, 83.
Okay, well, that's 40 years on. Oh, it's 40
That's
something.
almost 50 years. It's like,
and this is 50 years. So this has been going on and been hidden. And that's why I'm going back to the monarch. This stuff, they allow this stuff to happen. The higher ups allow this
it's
shit
not
to happen.
hidden, because there was articles of abuses, teachers, staff being charged there. There's the military trying to distance themselves. So this wasn't.
There's also
a secret.
Politicians involved in this too.
That's
Can we
the
talk
problem.
about that?
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about.
What's his name?
Don't you be don't. But we got.
I hate politicians and I hate the monarch. All right, let's do this.
So Tim Hudak, he was the former PC party leader.
Batman.
He was the head of the school when we shut it down.
Tim Hudak?
Yeah,
he looks like Batman. Looks like Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
So
I actually thought he was a good guy. He comes across really charming, good looking, right?
And these
politicians.
These fuckers got kids themselves.
There he is. Looks like Michael Keaton from Batman. I always called him Batman. I've met with this guy. I used to meet with my dad for the fire department. My dad was chief.
Oh.
So is he still a politician currently?
He took Dean Allison's place, right?
No. Dean Allison is still there.
But he was an MP?
He was the leader. He was an MPP. So he was provincial, the PC party.
And so what's his deal? What's his ties with the school?
He's the head of the school. When we shut it down. Yeah.
So when it was shut down, he was the head of the school.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful picture of him and his family. He's got a beautiful family. It's weird that some people that know all this stuff will stand behind it.
So this is what I want to say. And you know what? I don't give a crap what anybody says. Don't try to tell me Tim Hudak or Beth Millard or the former police chief who was also on the board or the colonel from the Canadian Forces who was also on the board. All these people who sat on the board, don't try to tell me that they didn't know these abuses were going on. And when it comes to people such as police, they have a duty to report. They have to report when the abuse is going. Why didn't Staff Sergeant Beth Millard report? Why didn't the military report?
Why do you think?
It's a lot of power there. They're going to protect each other. They're not going to do squat. That's what I think. Like, you can't deny the evidence. It's all out there. Everything's in the public. There's nothing that's hidden. So don't try to tell me that, don't try to tell me that they had no idea. And actually, the year 2025, when they shut down, there was actually that CTV on YouTube, that video where the child was sexually abused there. It's not a child now, but still there's a publication ban for him to protect him. But at the end of that interview, there's a guy named Paul Zahara, and he's at St. Catherine's Boxing Club. And he was a real big-time abuser. He was also a criminal when he went into that school and worked, and he would assault people unprovoked, broke their jaw. This guy is a loose cannon. He abused many students there. But they say that he was currently on administrative leave. Why take action now when it's a little too late? You should have took action a long time ago. So again, these are psychopaths that have all been in there, power tripping on children. And so there's I don't know this here. I don't know if you guys got it loaded up at all or anything, but this one here, this is just some of the abusers that were there, pedophiles, just straight up abusers. One that's not there is Arthur's. I can't remember what his first name is, but I think he was at a private school called New Hope School, possibly. And I think it may have been in BC or somewhere around there. And he was found to be negligent, and he was the cause of the death of 14 students, 12 or 14 students out there, all drowned under his watch. And that was another school that was, there's a video on YouTube.
They
about
drowned
that
at the
school.
Same time?
Yeah, all drowned, yeah.
Or like over time.
No, all at the same
time.
Can I
take
Come on.
Is there a written, what's the name?
Yeah,
I think insane.
I think it's New Hope Academy or New Hope.
And what's the guy's name?
Arthur's is his last name.
So we usually don't allow smoking on the show, but since my Greek friend was here, I'm like, we want full Greek.
Look, full Greek. We got to have a beer, a smoke. It would be ouzo naturally, but
I don't smoke. I might have one with you.
Oh yeah, you're allowed.
I got one of these. I grew this myself. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, I'm gonna have a lighter.
So
to each their own.
Did you say there was 14?
12 or 14 kids? I can't remember.
So is this it here? New Hope Academy.
Yep. That's the one.
Arthur. No. Okay. So.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
And what's his name?
Arthur's is his last name. I can't remember his first name.
Oh, because this is like saying Arthur.
Yeah.
But that's just saying his first name is Arthur.
Well, it could be his first name. I don't know.
Arthur's 14.
I'll put drowning. Maybe that will.
What's
help.
it's on your phone there? The name, isn't it?
No, that's one of the ones we got missing from there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to do some digging here. You guys can continue. So it's nuts because even you just Google anything, you get dozens and dozens and dozens of different schools and different places that have similar stories. This is not a common thing to our area, obviously.
You mean it is a common thing?
No, but I mean it's not common just to our area. It's
everywhere.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like it's all over the place.
Yeah. These are cycles.
Well, that's what, getting back to the world's demonic.
but
it's run by evil people. Like it happens everywhere because it's allowed. The people that rule our world that we live in want this.
Yeah,
and they literally do that. Going back to the royal family or who's ever, they're running most of the world, as far as I know. Their faces on our fucking money.
It was the Ford Motor Company who made the connections for Bowman to the Canadian military.
Well, if you're not part of their club, they're not letting you do.
No, but this is what's unique to Robert Land Academy. You didn't have this much government involvement and all these different government agencies and everything. And you didn't have this big wall, this big shield around them to protect them. Like you said something interesting earlier. I was going to say it, but I didn't. I changed my mind, but I'll say it now.
Okay.
and that is and you know what? I don't want to unfairly characterize them, but hell, there's no denying it either. There's the St. Thomas More Lawyers Guild. And there's the Catholic Church, the Red Mass. And you had all the police in Hamilton attending the Catholic Church Red Mass, lawyers, paralegals, all that. They're all there. And it's always held at the opening of the courts every year. So they try to say, no, it's not government. We're not controlling them. But they do. They have controls of all the fucking courts, all the judges. These are all the controls. All right, that are controlling our system. And they say they don't. But here's the problem. You could say they don't if all the police and the judges and everybody else didn't show up in their red garbs. Red garbs are the king's lawyers. And then everybody else wearing the gowns. The judges are wearing, the old white wig and the robes. The police
Which is completely fucking retarded.
The police officers are all wearing their uniform. So what does that signify? When they are wearing the uniforms, police officers are not allowed to wear their uniform when they're not on duty, because there's several policies with that because of the fact that when they're
in duty, if
they're under authority of the government. So they cannot do that. So now you got all these people under authority. That's going to be a constitutional infringement at that point in time. So this is what nobody, sometimes I know too much for my own good, but
like I said, you're my lawyer.
Or I'm just too stupid, one or the other. But
that's why you're my lawyer. I'm stupider.
It's funny though. As we were listening, I was like, your recall is incredible with names and dates and things. Like it's kind of bonkers.
Yeah, it's just something I got. Some lawyers have been really impressed with that because they said I got a memory like a steel trap.
Yeah.
So, I'm not bragging either, everybody. I'm not bragging.
He only takes my phone calls.
That's it. I'm only taking his calls. You're hearing everybody out there.
I have the worst memory. I can't remember stuff I did last week.
Marco asked me, he says, we argue. I'm like, I told you yesterday. He's like, I know you did, but what is it? All right, let me give you my messages.
Well, I got a real good steel trap memory when I'm not hammered up and somebody gets me all wasted. Well, then, bets are off. I don't even know my name.
So I know if I'm doing crimes, we're getting drunk together, right? I'm gonna break the law with this guy, but I guess not bad law.
Don't worry, it's not illegal.
As long as we're fighting the government.
No, that's it. That's
just kidding. Just kidding. Alleged.
Just kidding here. All right. Jeez.
I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Yes. So that's we all are.
Unfortunately,
we got no choice in the matter. But this school is the thing. They had this big shield of protection around them, and they still do. So, and where I'm going with this is the fact that I have Doug Ford, Lumsden, and Minister of Education Paul Calandra, and Sammy Oosterhoff. I run against him in Niagara West, and people in Niagara West, if you dare vote him in again when I run in the next election, after what's going on here, and they've all been protecting them, the provincial government does not care for your kids. And here's why. We're all survivors. There's a great many of us. There's been, a few of us who've taken the charge. Myself, there's about 8 other guys, and that we've been extremely active in this. We've approached them. We've asked them to make 2 changes to the Education Act for private schools. 1, criminal background checks for everyone, staff and teachers. And 2, that teachers have are licensed with the College of Teachers. So What's wrong with that? That's common shit. That's common sense shit, because of the fact that it eliminates the obvious criminals, the predators that would flock to a school like that with a bunch of little boys. So that email was met with deaf ears.
That's Sam
Oosterhoff, Lumsden, Calandra, Ford.
Well, I know soon. He stopped by my house one day, Sam Oosterhoff.
Yeah, trying to get
and
me to vote for him.
To arrest you?
No, he came here with me and my dad, and I told him, get the hell off my yard, because my brothers were subjected to almost losing their job for not taking the poisonous vaccine. And I said, my dad was there. My dad served. He's still serving 55 years in the fire department. Yeah. And that little prick didn't take my dad's call. So he ran into me and dad here on my front lawn, and I told him, I said, mark my words.
Yeah,
I'm going to make sure I pull you out of power. And now I know that you're going to run.
Yeah,
I will back you up 1,000,000%.
So, but obviously it's not up to him, right? You can sort of like go to him for your grievances, but it's handed up. Those rules and regulations are handed down by the province, right? As far as the vaccine,
well, he's the province.
Well, I know, but I mean, like,
he's got a great part in this for the fact that it's the Niagara West riding, and that school's in the Niagara West riding.
So what could he have done about?
So
mandates?
He should have went and mandates. Well, what did he do with mandates? He went and had a party.
Yeah, he's telling everyone to sit talking about mandates. He made a fool.
No mask.
No, I mean, what could he do to change them?
He could at least respond to his email.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Well, we're talking.
I thought you were on Sam's side for a second.
Talking
go over this table.
Are you talking with the school or are you talking the mask? Don't get me fired up, all right?
Me and Mark are partners, but I might join up with my lawyer tonight.
It's not gonna be roofing tonight. It's gonna be WWF, and we're gonna be like flying elbows in here.
No, I'm legit asking. I'm not trying to be like.
He always plays devil's advocate. Don't get mad at my guy.
I'm not, because I legit don't know. Like, so if you go to somebody like a Sam Oosterhoff or whatever his name is, or like Matthew Biddle or whatever.
Not Biddle, Chris Biddle.
Chris Biddle, that's it.
Liberal.
Yeah. I'm just saying. If you go to these guys and say, hey, can you help us, reverse these mandates? Can they actually do anything?
Well, they can get support from their other members in their party, and if they're in a majority, which they were and are still, they can pressure Mr. Ford there and say, come on, this is ridiculous. You should look at Ford's going on vacation, snowmobiling.
Yeah.
They were all with no masks while we're getting the shaft here.
Yeah.
Doug Ford created he owned the sticker company that all the floor had the stickers. He's 50 million. Oh yeah, easy peasy for a politician. Trudeau's worth 700 million now. Must be nice being a politician. I'm a roofer. I'm eating shingle grits.
Oh God, get me in, please. I need that money. No, it's crazy.
Some people in the chat were saying somebody said Sam does respond to people, so that says something about not answering the demand.
Maybe to you. What do you? Maybe to you.
Hey, look, okay, whoever that was in the chat, I'm going to say this to you. So when you sit there and ask for those two common sense things, which are already in the public school system, you can't get a job without a background check. You got to be licensed. Sure. All right. And Sam comes back and responds to you with, "Oh, we care about children. By the way, Robert Land Academy is closed." Is that a fucking response? Is that the response? No. When you're saying we're asking these two things, that's not a response. That's a bullshit. It's called circle talk, and it's a politician speaking out of his own fucking both sides of his mouth at the same time.
And if you think he's a family man, and he knows all the children that were abusing here, I'd like to say personally, and for the record, shame on you, Sam.
Yeah, it is shame.
He's a young kid, like a young guy, right? He's younger, right?
Look, I ran against him. It was the 2017 by-election, the 2017 by-election, when we ended up having Hudak stepping down from the leadership, and that's where Sam took, because Hudak was also Niagara West.
Yeah.
And I went up to Sam and I said, we know it's a conservative riding. You could put a pile of shit there and they would vote it in. All right.
Yeah.
And I went up to Sam and I said, look, everybody knows here you're going to get elected. One thing, have a backbone and don't be a yes man, which obviously is a complete yes man. There's no spine there whatsoever. He's a coward. And his response in his email to me shows that he's a coward, because he dare not say anything. No support to speak with Calandra and Ford. No support for Sam to say, hey, you group of survivors come to us as we asked. We were with the NDP of all people who brought us to Queen's Park and made the ask. And they even said, this isn't political. Don't politicize this. It doesn't have anything to do with party lines. It's common sense.
Yeah.
And, you know, it would take literally 5 minutes to make that change because you're not reinventing the act. You're not rewriting it. You're just adding two things in that can be done by Minister Calandra by making a ministerial order. It would take 5 minutes. Done. Don't even need to vote on it. Don't nothing. Done. And they refuse it. And coward Sam doesn't go and, you know, he doesn't go and say to Calandra and Ford, let's meet with these survivors. Let's have a talk.
Oh, heck no. He's out snowmobiling right now or going to the next island or wherever he's going to.
Having a party, whatever.
Well, yeah, I'm going to save you $1 a beer this year or something. Hey, like my brother's a
Why
crackhead.
is
Look
this
at me. I'm a
costing
fucking
like
Canadian hunk of
$4
dung.
for crying out loud?
Yeah.
You know.
This is the only beer I can find that doesn't have preservatives in it. Our government, if they're not destroying your life with taxes or school boards,
Destroying your health.
you can't even have good beer anymore. It's got to have preservatives. So this is the only one I found without them.
That's to whoever's trying to stick their nose up Sammy's bum in the chat. But yeah, so you know, I'd love to hear an answer from that one. But hey,
Well, Mark and Ann, we can have a little question time.
I sent a message in there that if anybody has any questions, they're welcome to ask.
We should probably do live phone calls here one day on cancel. We haven't talked about doing that yet.
Yeah, the problem
live is bad because you get a guy that wants to cancel you and you start saying words that go against the algorithm. Take your show down.
We will do that eventually, but what we'll do is we'll go on
delay.
Yeah, well, we'll go online for 10 minutes and then we'll shut off the live. We'll still record it and we'll record all the phone calls and then we'll throw them out as clips and stuff. Because again, somebody could call up and then you could get canceled right off your live by somebody acting like a complete idiot.
I said the wrong word. It was a term of endearment, I thought, at one time, and I said it to. I was talking with a friend. I was just talking about how we used to say words to each other when we were younger. That doesn't mean what it means to people today. And you would say it as a term of endearment. I use the word.
Yeah.
The Facebook authorities. Mark Zuckerberg's coming in. Oh, what did you say? The F word? Right? The 6-letter F word, right? The 6-letter F word. You can't say that about your friends anymore.
No.
Anyway, so here comes Mark Zuckerberg. Comes into my own live, shuts me down, pages down for 14 months.
Wow. A little extreme.
Oh, yeah, done like that because I said one word and I was talking about a term of endearment for friends. So that's why I used to call my buddies. That's what we call each other. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, of course.
And it was either that or you're a cocksucker. I don't know. I got to Beamsville High School. There's nothing nice. You never said nothing nice to your friends, right?
Beamsville, oh my God.
Bam, you went to the same high school. So it never changed, right?
No, break no.
So anyways, they shut your page down for saying stuff, but guess what they can't do?
What?
They can't figure out who's delivering child porn here, doing this. The system can mark my words every second I'm saying it when we're on these devices, but it can't find human traffickers or people that are abusing kids. They don't use that technology for that, but they use it for me to control my speech on the platforms that we use to share.
Of course, communism. And the government's in there, right?
Oh,
they're the ones that are pushing this stuff.
Josh Bigger, you better get an eye on that guy. He said some things he shouldn't about the government.
Big time.
Now that I've had you on here, I'm going to get canceled again.
You're getting canceled like ASAP. I'll be shocked if we don't.
We might get the Italians canceled on the way out of the show. Pop, pop, pop. Hey, shut these two up. They're talking too much.
Talk too much. All right. Yeah.
That's the best thing about the Freedom Convoy, the people I've met, because I met you through there, right? I mean, two people that would have probably never met. Crazy stories, connections, and have the same outlook, and we want to help, and we want to do better, and we want to stand up for what we believe in and make our country better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we are, right?
Yeah, so I guess we went on a little bit of a tangent, but yeah, that's at the end of the day, that's all we're asking from the provincial government, and they won't even give us that. They won't even give us a meeting to speak with us.
No, they won't.
How crazy is that?
It's actually insane. But then when you realize, going back to the government is run by a satanic pedophile cult, what else would they do? They wouldn't allow this. It's like they're working directly against you. Like, that's my argument. People are like, we're not run by a satanic cult that's a bunch of pedophiles. Like, then why are they stopping me talking about them?
So
who's doing that? Who's in charge of me saying the new bill that's coming out?
Yeah,
they're gonna want me not to say the word pedophile. Yeah, that's gonna be the new thing. I can't say pedophile. Like,
how dare you?
Like,
yeah, that's say maps. Okay, maps.
Yeah, like they're controlling our speech. Like, in a sense where
micromanagement,
right? And I get some of it, like I get community standards, but like when you're talking about crimes against children, if you want to get into racism online and things you say, like obviously there's a code of conduct, but when it comes to talking about crimes and the safety of our community, you have to tell them the facts. That word just tells you exactly what the person's done, right? But I guess we got to use different words now.
Yeah. Oh, well, here's a word. Think I would get kicked out of a debate with Sam if I
Can we say it online? Do we got to stop you before we get canceled?
Okay, we just put a delay.
Okay, put it on mute for a second.
I don't have a delay. So
there's no cancel button here, buddy. Just give her.
Boys.
All right, here we go.
So
see you later.
What if I said Sam goofs for us? Oh no, we just got canceled.
You got no power around here.
Yeah,
in my neck of the woods, Sammy boy.
So that would just like. This is the thing: is they're trying to control our speech, trying to silence us in any which way, and to afford themselves protection. So you're absolutely right, and that's what's happening. And this is. You remember Chris Sky, and he always had back the blue, the blue line, back the blue. Now it's the wall of blue blocking us. We're not backing them; they're blocking us now. So this is a big, serious problem.
That's what I said to the one officer when I was. I don't know if you were there. I know Bam Bam was with me when I went down to the library.
Yeah.
And
I wasn't there at that.
Yeah, but I went down there and I'm in there at that pride thing, telling people what they're doing is wrong. And we got another person saying, pray for these people. And there's only 3 or 4 of us, but we're like hitting this group hard. And I'm the enemy. So they called the police on me. 48 seconds. The cops are there.
Wow.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to the Niagara Regional Police that showed up to my call when I was calling all pedophiles. You guys showed up in 48 seconds. That was the quickest time they had. That's got to be record time. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry, Luke. And Luke was the guy that responded. Great officer, by the way. We got 100 million views on this episode.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
But isn't that insane that these cops come and they back these people up?
Yeah.
So he realized that day. A lot of police officers realized what's going on. And I said, buddy, I used to pay my $150 to back the blue. I donated, man. Yeah. I donated. And I'm like, you're here stopping a father who's a taxpayer who doesn't want a man in lingerie dancing for a kid.
Shaking his balls hanging out.
Yeah. In my public library, you don't want to allow me to even say this is wrong or protest? No. Time we left out of there, Bam Bam told him his story. And the police officers there, they all had a different perspective, right? So it's like we just get so used to these police officers. They're just going to follow social media. They're going to follow this crap they're reading on these phones. We got to go out, and that's why we got to get out in the streets like me and you and Bam Bam. We get out there, and we make this possible. We get on our lives. We talk about this stuff. Although they want to put publication bans on disgusting human beings that are teachers and destroy youth, destroy them sexually, they're monsters. And we allow them back into our society.
And protect them.
And protect them. So any police officer out there, join our group, join us to go on the streets and tell the community that there's someone living here that could destroy their child. If you care about your own child, just show up and help us. We don't want to walk around and be vigilantes. We just want to make the communities aware.
And we're not vigilantes. We're not pounding them.
We go here, we have a smoke and a beer, and we talk about the problems that the government's caused. And they want to make people like me and you the enemy.
I got to shake your hand here really quick because you shattered my record time of getting police response. Because my police response is anywhere.
And mine's documented on a live on Facebook, so it's there.
Mine's documented too. And this is a 911 call. My response time is 8 hours to over 24 hours. All right, on a 911 call. So I think they're probably just hoping.
Well, you got the longest record. I got the shortest record.
There we go.
We're going to make the Guinness book right here.
We're good. This is the NRP's response times, right? So yeah, maybe they want me to get knocked off. Who knows?
Yeah. They just if you wait long enough, maybe they'll stop calling.
Maybe he's going down.
Josh Baker will be there in 10 seconds.
Next call will be the coroner.
Well, man, I mean, it's been great having you.
Yeah,
you've been great. I look forward to working for you or with you on more projects and going to the courthouse. What a great way to see what's really going on. I've been to the courthouse before outside, but I really just went in quietly, watched everything. I didn't say anything. I just listened. And man, more people out there. If you live in your community, you should be going down. If you have the day off, instead of playing on your phone, go listen to the criminals that are being let back into your society. Go look at the judge. Go look at these people that are destroying our community. It's them. You can actually see them.
Look at.
Just don't bitch about it online.
If you really want to see how bad the situation is in the whole Niagara region, everybody in the Niagara region, Go to the courthouse on Monday and Friday and go at 9 a.m. Go to courtroom 3. Look at the docket. It tells you the names and it tells you all the charges. You're going to get an eye opener, like beyond belief.
That's the thing. I think the main issue is a lot of people just don't know. Right? You don't know what you don't know because it's not widely known that they don't publicize it. So people are unaware. Like I was unaware. So when he said, so the last march and gathering they just did was in on my street.
Wow.
So Josh goes, "You're never going to guess where we're going to be tomorrow." I'm like, "Don't even tell me." And he sends me a text message and it's my cross street.
It's not you, is it?
Yeah.
There's a pedophile in your neighborhood.
So that guy, again, he was a rotten bastard.
I was in his neighborhood today.
Yeah. Because on Saturday, one just around. On Saturday, 2 doors fucking down is another guy, another pedophile.
Oh, wow.
Seriously, like literally 2 doors. It's actually 2 doors down.
Wow.
So that's how many there are. Like if they're like fucking rats.
It's not just anyone. This person here, and this is I gotta tell this story. I was gonna close the show down, but I gotta tell this story. Yeah, Mark, thank you for getting me worked up.
Yeah, sorry. I'm
gonna say his name because he can talk about this guy. It's Paul Shepard.
Yeah,
he's been accused and convicted of sexual crimes with children. A teacher, I believe he did work with the police force. Traveling teacher, charged for Alberta distribution of child porn, making child porn. This guy is a monster. Anyways, I knew who he was a while ago. So I'm at the vegan hippie chick. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And they were doing the drag show
you were
for
giving
kids.
out hot dogs.
So I got extra large hot dogs, little buns. I'm frying up hot dogs out there. I see Paul Shepard come in with nobody other than Liam Coward. Liam Coward was a constituent who worked for Jenny Stevens as NDP.
Oh, God. I was just at Jenny Stevens' office today after court.
Yeah, he worked on her campaign.
He worked on her campaign. Yeah. And anyways, he overdosed on methamphetamines. Paul Shepard, after all his charges, and all this stuff went down. He got tons of charges. He'll bring him up here. He started dating Liam when he was 16, 17. Now this Liam's 30. They've been dating for 12 years. Liam overdosed, died. He thought I was a piece of shit. Sorry, Liam. I wish you could have found God, but he didn't. He's God, rest his soul. But anyways, I'm there with Bam Bam, and I'm like, pedo scum. Like, there's a pedo in here. And I'm trying to tell people, like, there's a convicted sex offender showing up to watch your kid get seduced by a man in lingerie, and they're like, "You're the devil."
Yeah, you're the bad guy.
You're the bad guy. How dare you?
But I'm trying to get across.
It's absolutely insane. So this guy here, this I can literally see the back of his house from my front porch. This guy.
Oh man.
So yeah. I can't even believe it. Like I'm almost speechless. So
and there's 3 people in your neighborhood, and you live in a really nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like it's North End St. Catharines.
And that's the ones that we know of. I'm sure there's many more, which is crazy.
That's just 20 feet from your house either way.
I know.
Pedophile.
Yeah.
Right? Holy shit.
I just can't even believe it.
Welcome to St. Catharines. You pay good taxes, right?
Well, apparently not enough.
Yeah.
Fudge.
I'm going to call Sam Ustroff, see if he can help us out.
Yeah, I doubt it. But this guy, you got to read this article because it's absolutely disgusting. He was a police officer, then became a teacher, and like basically around the world, he's got victims around the world. And,
traveling pedophile.
And he's still out in public.
Yeah. He can walk around your neighborhood freely around your family. Welcome to Niagara. And that's why we have to go. Getting back to that, we have to go every weekend. We have to stay cool, calm, and collected. Because what it is, we are causing awareness. We're not going to fucking with pitchforks and a fucking torch.
We should be.
Well, we should be, but that's illegal. What we're doing is now is make everyone aware, just like you and just like your neighbors. Nobody knows.
Always lawful.
Nobody knows.
Absolutely. I know. It makes me angry and it makes me sick. It would, if I saw him on the street, it would be very, very hard for me to like.
You would never
to walk the other way. You know what I mean? Yeah, obviously.
It is. It gets the emotions up. Like, who wouldn't? Especially if it's your own
harming
kid.
A child is like it's a sign that you're actually not a human.
Yeah,
you can't be.
No.
The
way
way that I perceive human beings are supposed to be loving creatures. That's what we're supposed to be. We all make mistakes, but those mistakes are like beyond grave mistakes.
Yeah,
those mistakes put you in the grave.
Absolutely.
And I think that capital punishment for someone that harms children in that capacity.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
It's like a rabid dog, right? What do we do with dogs?
Obviously, I have a family, so I wouldn't jeopardize my family and do something crazy. But something needs to be done. Like clearly, like I don't know how many more people can do podcasts or stories or articles or whatever discussions about this. They're like I don't know how these politicians people don't take this seriously and try and pursue harsher sentences. You know, at least at the minimum.
That's why we were doing this. That's why we're going out. It's
so Larry, actually, you brought up a real good point. I'm gonna trash the Conservative Party in Canada
Please,
right now.
Trash them all.
And sorry, Dean Allison, because I love you.
Dean goes to my church.
He's a good man. He's a really good man. He's probably the only politician in Parliament.
He's the only
right
one that
now
sits at my table. I've had dinner with him. I've allowed him to have dinner with me.
Probably the only one on the up and up too. Dean's a really great man. I love him. And but the problem is this: you got Pierre Poilievre. What's his cure? He says, I'm going to suspend your constitutional rights for 5 years so we can just take these pedophiles and throw them in. They won't get a bail hearing. They won't get a court hearing. So you can rot in jail for 5 years. But no, if you ended up becoming the prime minister, why would you do that? There would be no need to, because you can, at that point in time, change the criminal code yourself.
Yeah.
So there's no need to strip us of our constitutional rights. That's what a dictator does. So this is the problem. Government has created this situation with the pedophiles running free over and over and reoffending over and over.
Both sides.
Right? So then they get it to the point where there's massive public outcry that we're seeing right now. Finally, it's gotten to a boiling point. And you know, I hope to God nobody does anything, but at sooner or later, someone's going to snap at some point. A father, a mother,
or a victim,
or a victim.
Yeah,
like
I'm surprised, but it doesn't happen more often.
So because they're destroyed, the victims have gone through so much trauma, they can't.
So this is the problem, and then government steps in on a creation of a problem that they done. Then they want to strip you of your constitutional rights and then abuse the people. Could you imagine the Ottawa convoy, and we had our constitutional rights stripped from us? What would happen to them? You'd have all the Pat Kings, Chris guys, you, everybody else thrown in jail, and you would still be sitting in jail because same government over and over and over getting elected in. You could be in jail for 15 years and not even have a court date because you got no right. So that's wrong. Pierre should really give his head a freaking shake. He's a freaking dictator, and that's not the way you solve the problem. If you get elected, you change it legally and lawfully, and you do it that way without stripping our rights, because that only leads to abuse by government on the people, and that's why they want to do it.
If you've been convicted of sex crimes with a child, you should lose your rights. That's what happens, and I mean indefinitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't get them back. You don't get them back. Right. I mean, I don't have to say you have capital punishment, but you're going to live. And there's countries like Nicaragua where if you go to jail, your family has to feed you. Why should it be on my tax line? Why should I pay for your lawyer? Why should I pay for your housing? If your family wants to house you after your vicious crimes, they can. I don't want to give any money to house you. I have an option for you is to terminate your existence because what you did is the most heinous crime.
Yeah.
So I'm totally okay with capital punishment if it's done lawfully. So we've got rid of that in Canada, but it's still happening in the U.S. and they're starting to bring it back in certain states.
Yes.
Okay, now we're talking like this guy rapes 4 kids. Like, what's he doing in society? We're gonna let him. What's he gonna do? Hurt another kid? And the amount these people reoffend is like if someone's raped a child and been convicted, they reoffend. They get back out. They just do it again. Yeah, they're wired wrong.
So there's 2 messages that I just want to put out there. One is to the parents. Parents, I have my own story with my son, with what some things called child tourism, where they go to other countries to pedophiles to rape little boys and girls. And my son was playing World of Warcraft, and he started interacting. He was 12 or 13, and there was a girl, 25 years old, and she was coming on to him and stuff. And I find out. I intercepted the messages because I always check my kid's computer. I want to protect my son. That's what parents should be doing. Cell phones. That's what parents should be doing.
No cell phones for any child under 18.
Yeah. And, I found out that she was coming down to Canada. So I contacted the child abuse unit in the U.S., let them know because this person was from the States. And they ended up intercepting them on their way and stopped it. So always check your kids. There's no such thing as privacy for children. You're the adult. They're not. They don't have no privacy at this point. Be vigilant. That can save your child's life. And the other message is, I got an ask for everybody out there. We need to fill that courtroom on May 15th, courtroom 5 at 10 a.m. This is Jonathan Jeffrey Alstead. We want to send a strong, clear message to the judge that we do not want leniency for these types of predators. They're sick, twisted individuals. And I really would love to tell you what they've done, but unfortunately we can't. But I'll ask everybody to show up on that day and support these kids and send that message to the judge.
I just put it in the chat, and please, maybe we'll jot it down, and I'll make a mark in the calendar. We'll post about it and letting people know on like the Mr. Freedom pages and stuff, and let people know, come out and support this guy's disgusting. That's a nice way of saying it.
Oh yeah. Oh,
nice. So are you going to run again? Like, what's your deal? Like, what's the plan for that?
Sure, I'll run again. I absolutely will. And yeah, we,
Libertarian Party, obviously.
Libertarian Party of Ontario, and it took Argentina 135 years under liberal rule socialism, as what we have here with all the parties who are running and getting elected. Socialism is just another form of communism. It's been reinvented. It's communism, the worst of communism, worst of fascism, and it's rolled up into one. Argentina took 135 years. They changed it within 1 year. Javier Milei got rid of their deficit. He even made a loan from the U.S. at, I believe it was $20 million. He paid it back like within a month. They're making money. They're prospering. They became the third strongest economy in the world. And Canada, there's more than 4 freaking parties. And if you think about it, every one of those freaking parties are the reason Canada's in the state we are now, because they've all had a hand in destroying Canada, destroying your livelihoods and destroying your lives and your children's lives. So you need to make a change.
Amen. All right. Well, let's reconvene. We'll have you back on maybe after this this finishes, and maybe then we can talk about it. I don't know how soon after. Like, is that going to be the ruling of, like, what's the deal? What happens on the 15th?
Pre-sentence hearing. So we'll see what happens.
Can't talk much about it. It's insane.
Yeah,
once we turn the cameras off, we'll talk about it.
No, I can't do that either.
I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. I want to see if the cops are listening.
They are. They are. Trust me.
Turn your phones off.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. And to anybody that went through the Robert Land Academy, please reach out to us if maybe we'll have a few more people in here that want to talk about the stories. And if something happened to you and you want to come forward and talk to Stefano, I'm sure he'll gladly, talk to you.
If you're not in the lawsuits, please approach me. I'll get you in. I'll get you the contact info and get you in.
Yeah, he's well connected, and so if you need help with anything, please reach out. Is there an email? Is there anything public where anyone can reach you? Did you give out
my
that?
Facebook through Messenger, or my name, stefanos.keratopoulos@yahoo.com.
Okay.
All right. Put that in the messages as well.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, buddy. Well, until we get canceled.
Great. We're
nice
going to get canceled tonight for sure. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. It's great meeting you guys. You're awesome. And thanks for all the support.
All right, everybody. See you next time.
Canceled.